It was a quiet Sunday afternoon, one of those days where the house felt too still, almost like it was holding its breath. I had been lounging around, flipping through an old photo album that had somehow ended up tucked away behind the couch. As I turned each page, smiling at memories frozen in time, my phone buzzed with a message. It was from my best friend, Kelly. "Hey, Rachel, can Josh come over for a bit? I'm stuck at the DMV, and he's getting bored out of his mind." I chuckled. Kelly's son, Josh, was 17 now, tall, polite, always respectful, and despite being at that age where most teenagers preferred being alone in their rooms, he still liked spending time with people he trusted. I had known him since he was a toddler, and we always got along. "Of course," I replied. "Tell him to come on over. I'm just hanging out at home." 15 minutes later, there was a knock at the door. I opened it to find Josh standing there, hands in his hoodie pockets, his curly brown hair slightly damp from the light drizzle outside. "Hey, Miss Rachel," he said with a boyish smile. "Come on in, Josh. Make yourself at home," I said, stepping aside. He walked in, looking around the living room. "It smells like cookies in here." I laughed. "I may or may not have made a fresh batch earlier. You want some?" "Definitely." While he munched on the cookies, we chatted. He told me about his basketball practice, his teachers, and how he was thinking about colleges already. I could see the spark in his eyes when he talked about sports medicine. He wanted to become a physical therapist one day. "That's a great career, Josh," I said, sipping my tea. "You've always been the kind of kid who cares about helping others." He shrugged, a little embarrassed. "Guess I just want to do something that matters." The rain outside started to pick up, tapping against the windows like soft drumming. We both sat on the couch, the sound creating a calming background to our conversation. I hadn't realized how much I'd missed this kind of company, just real, honest talk. After a while, he noticed the photo album on the coffee table. "You going through old pictures?" "Yeah," I said, flipping back a few pages. "You're in some of these, actually." He leaned in, looking closely. "No way, that's me with the inflatable pool in your backyard." I laughed.
Yup. You were 5.
"You insisted on wearing that tiny life jacket even though the water barely reached your knees." He laughed too, shaking his head. "Man, time flies." We talked for hours, the way people do when they have history between them. Eventually, the rain became a full-blown storm. Thunder echoed across the sky, and lightning briefly lit up the room in silver flashes. "Looks like the storm's getting worse," Josh said, glancing outside. "Yeah," I replied, checking the weather app on my phone. Flash flood warning. "Maybe your mom's stuck longer than she thought." "She texted me a few minutes ago," he said, looking at his phone. "Said traffic's awful. She's gonna be at least another hour." "All right," I said. "Well, you're welcome to stay here until she comes. You hungry? I can make something real." He nodded. "Only if you're making those grilled cheese sandwiches you used to make when I was little." "You remember those? Are you kidding?" "Best grilled cheese of my life," he said, grinning. So I got up and headed to the kitchen while he followed, helping me slice tomatoes and pick the right kind of cheese. The kitchen filled with the comforting aroma of melting cheddar, toasted bread, and the warmth of shared memories. We sat down to eat, and it honestly felt like family. Just as we were finishing up, the power flickered and went out. I groaned. "Of course," I muttered. "Right when it's getting cozy." Josh stood and grabbed the flashlight from the kitchen drawer. "Want me to light the candles?" "That'd be great," I said. He moved around the house, lighting a few candles, and we settled back into the living room, the flickering light giving everything a soft, warm glow. The rain was still coming down hard, and the house creaked occasionally, but we were dry and safe inside. "I always liked it here," Josh said, a little quieter this time. "It always felt calm." "Thanks, Josh. That means a lot." There was something about that moment, just two people, generations apart, finding comfort in each other's presence, that felt deeply grounding. He looked at me and said, "You ever miss the past, Miss Rachel?" "Sometimes," I replied. "But I also think the best parts of the past are what help us be better in the present." He nodded slowly. "That makes sense." We sat in silence for a while. I could hear the distant sound of sirens somewhere out on the highway, and then the soft ping of my phone lighting up. It was Kelly. Still stuck. Don't wait up. Can you keep him tonight if it gets too late? I looked at Josh. Your mom says she might not make it back in time. Do you want to stay here tonight? He didn't hesitate.
Sure.
If it's okay with you.
Of course it is, I said.
You can crash in the guest room upstairs. We got him set up with fresh sheets and a spare toothbrush. As I turned to leave the room so he could settle in, he looked at me and said, "Thanks for today. I didn't realize how much I needed this." Me too, Josh, I said softly. Good night. Good night. I went to my room and lay there, listening to the rain and thinking about how strange and beautiful life could be. One moment you're flipping through an old album, and the next you're reconnecting with someone who once called you their second mom. In the morning, the storm had passed. Sunlight filtered through the curtains, and the house was still. I walked downstairs and found Josh in the kitchen, making coffee. "Morning," he said, handing me a mug. "You slept okay?" "Like a rock." Kelly texted not long after. "Finally home. Thank you so much." He said he had the best night in a long time. When she came to pick him up, she gave me a tight hug. "I don't know what I'd do without you, Ratch." I smiled. "Anytime, Kel. He's a great kid." After they left, I sat on the porch, sipping the last of my coffee. Life was unpredictable, but sometimes it brought the right people to your door at just the right moment. And sometimes those moments stayed with you forever.